Well, hey, everybody. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and children of all ages, and welcome to round one of my very own RedEyes $450 Dead in June tournament qualifiers for Group A, brought to you and sponsored by Hunter of Gunmen and Glacier Gaming. And we got count them up, three rounds of action, mayhem, and strategy coming your way today. But first and foremost, for those of you who aren't quite acquainted as to who I am, I'm RedEyes, your ever-lovable and adorably cuddly caster, bringing you that daily dosage of butt-kickery, tomfoolery, and all-around shenaniganism. We do have a stack lobby. We'll get into those teams in just a minute. But as you can see, that round is a little bit incorrect. We are on Erangel, but this is going to be round one of three. So let me go ahead and do a quick little adjustment of that. And of course, we are kicking things off with, you guessed it, the very first map ever introduced into this game, Erangel. Now, what do we need to be saying about a map like Erangel? Well, essentially, it's the off-bred love child of Sandhawk and Miramar, because it really is the perfect middle ground between those two extremes, which is going to leave it fairly reliant upon the flight path to determine what sort of early game we actually end up getting. And as you can see it here, guys, it's not by any means the most ideal, but it's going to leave some drop spots open. Definitely going to leave a lot of places off the table here, such as the Georgia Pole regions, no Stauber, probably no Primorsk, but we might get some Millilovin, maybe some Fairy Pier, maybe even a Pachinki. I could be wrong about that Primorsk. If anyone's feeling extra cautious, it could happen. But let's go ahead and get into it. So, please don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. But already, we're getting eyes here on members of Daddies. That's right, guys. We got Daddies, Brave, Jay Nepal, The Lycans, Well Played, Moonlight, Tiny Fan Club, Team Aces. We've got members of Deuce's Family, Overnight, Ventru, C4 Esports, Exclusive Esports, Divine, Mizexis 2.0, One Shot in A, Ultimate Gaming, -7, Criminals, and Road to Death. So I'm expecting nothing but action right off the bat, and you bet we're going to be getting some right here and now. It looks like those members of Ultimate Gaming landing in the midst of a love triangle here with members of Moonlight as well as Jay Nepal. Now, this is where things are definitely going to be getting a little bit interesting here. All right, yep, we already have a member of Ultimate Gaming down. Karma taking a bit of a hit, leaving it reliant upon Chig, Bang, and Cobra here. And as you can see, Cobra coming in, but all the while, Smoke taking out his teammate, leaving it all reliant on Cobra and his teammate. But look at him retaliate with that UMP-45, that close quarter combat annihilator, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we have no need to have me on the screen anymore from this point, so let me go ahead and disappear. But just so everyone is up to date, we are going to be giving away 3 600 UC codes tonight. One for every single match. Ooh, and down he goes like a bad habit, leaving Cobra as the final hope now for Ultimate Gaming. And oh boy, talk about the pressure mounting. You do not want to be taken out this early in the first match. Absolutely crippling your odds of advancing on to the finals. And speaking of that advancement onto the finals, while we have a brief moment, we're going to go over the structure of the tournament. Ooh, maybe we're going to have to wait here. Yep. It looks like Fraud firing away at Cobra reduces him down to about 1/3 of his overall health. All the while, we got Zexus 2.0 going after Well Played in the distance. Cobra being pushed on, but there's so much action here on the board that I can't stay tuned into just one thing. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and get some more action on the board. We'll keep this fight up on the small screen, but actually, you know what? We'll just go to this. Boom, boom, ba-chow. How you like me now? RedEyes hitting you with them two views. So, off in the distance, Daddy's in the midst of numerous teams, but currently facing off with members of Ventru Inc. And it does look like they have a takedown on Carrillo. And this is going to get interesting. Oh, boy. Well, Cobra at a bit of a standoff from this point. And really, yep, he is out of there just like that. The dirty deed is done. Well, where should we be tuning into? There's so much action here on the board. We got members of C4 Slay, Daddy Payne, Ghoul, and Psycho up here in the midst, not far at all in proximity from exclusive esports. But right now, it appears like it's just a bit of a waiting game here. But look, Ghoul with that hardcore parkour clinging to the side of that wall there for just a moment. All the while, Alpha holding the rooftop position, trying to get an overwatch over the enemy. And this tends to be the nature of a pachinki standoff, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it looks like Yumi and OS having at it in the distance. We're going to go check out the Tiny Fan Club. All right, Tiny Fan Club is Team 9. This is going to be Yumi, Dusku, Treble, and KK. And oh boy, yeah, they're up in the mix with one shot in A. And there's Spence. Look at this. That tree just barely rendering in. But it leaves you to almost wonder. Oh man, all the pressure is all mounted on KK here in a 1v4 scenario. All the odds stacked against him, and it's going to be a Molotov cocktail to rain down the hellfire and take him right on out of the equation. But there is literally no time to waste as C4 and Exclusive have at each other's throats here. All the while, we've got members of Jay Nepal still squaring off with Moonlight at the Milta area. Not to mention, down south at Novo, we've got a standoff between Mizexis 2.0 and members of Well Played. Now, Well Played has already been reduced down to a 3-piece. They lost Ace in the beginning, reducing it down to Ronnie, Smiley, and Shaza. Smiley already taken down to below half health, just desperately trying to get this first aid pulled off in time, and he does have it, and that's the shotgun to S12 firing away, but it's a trade for trade, bullet for bullet, and Smiley ends up taking the rough end of the stick there. That's going to leave it down to Shaza and Ronnie here for Well Played, firing away, and inactive, and Rushy firing right on back, returning the Hellfire with a little bit more Hellfire of their own. Now Ronnie is the final hope, and Well Played is not in a well played position, literally surrounded by 3 sides by Mizexis. Mizexis playing it really well. All right. Well, while we have a moment, let's go check out this standoff off in the distance here. Oh, down to Brujo for members of Moonlight. And while he's trying to escape the clutches of Jay Nepal, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and just say it. We are doing those UC code giveaways. That's right, 1 per match. So, how about we kick things off with the very, very, very first one. We will be getting it going right here. And there. Yeah. All right. So, everybody, just so we are all aware of how to do this, I'm going to go be pasting the link in the YouTube chat only. This is only for YouTube to really benefit from. So, all right. Pin it. So, the link is now pinned to the top of the chat. Who's ready for that first UC code for 600 UC? Only one person is going to be able to actually claim this. So, let's get it. The first code is CKEQZLAZCBV. And you'll be redeeming that at the link attached to the top of the chat feed. Oh my gosh. Wow. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the code. Go ahead and feel free to redeem that. But for now, we're about to get some action here in the mix. We got members of Team Aces preparing to square off with what I believe is 2 members of C4. Oh, actually, that's not. That's going to be members. Ooh, Daddy. It's going to be members of Daddy facing off against Team Aces here. And as we can see, Arsh is already on his Arsh. That leaves Jimmy, Daddy Brar, and Nav. And look, Jimmy just potentially in a vehicle chase against the opponent. But, all right, codes are going off the screen. So, yeah, here we have to see what's happening here. Brar and Go-To up against each other here. Trying to stick a revive. We got Rin and Nav just holding down position. And as you can hear it, shots between Go-To getting the takedown on Jimmy right there and then via the Uzi. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. All right, well, after this takedown, we will be going over a few things. Oh boy, Go-To feels like his moments could be numbered here, but luckily, backup is approaching very quickly, but not before Nav and Brar get on the edge of the house. This is going to potentially be a really problematic situation. They're not going to expect Go-To behind them. Firing away, but wow! Really interesting use of that utility there. That smoke actually ended up being counterproductive for those throwing it. But Go-To getting the finish after all. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that does leave us with a moment of downtime. That's to be expected on large maps. Large maps are 2 out of the 3 that we're going to be working with today. So while we have a little bit of downtime, let's go over the format as it currently stands. Now, we got 20 teams competing in these qualifiers. Now, of those 20 teams, 4 teams will actually advance on to the $450 finals. We run 3 rounds of qualifiers, so that's 12 qualified teams, plus the 8 invited Tier 1 professional teams, where they will all be duking it out for that proverbial $450 prize pool. And that'll be going down on the 28th, ladies and gentlemen. Now, just keeping things in order here, we are doing 3 rounds of qualifiers today. Erangel, Miramar, and Sandhawk, and we are all going by the updated PMPL official scoring structure, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, well, not a lot happening in this neck of the woods, so we're going to go check in on the likes of Brave. Now, Brave, still a full 4-piece, but with 0 kills to their name so far, and that is not ideal. I mean, granted, with this new scoring structure, eliminations are going to place just a higher emphasis, and that's just the nature of the new scoring structure. It's that way intentionally. It means that placement is going to still hold some significant weight, but it's not going to be as prioritized as it previously was. Meaning that you're going to have to be ready to take on your fights. And that is understandable, given that this is the 5th year of PUBG Mobile Esports. And by now, we've had all the standoffs we can handle. So now it's time to get into the experienced action. All right. Well, this is a standoff here, but Enzo firing away. His teammate already reduced down to a knock, and it looks to leave open pickings here for a third party from the Zexus 2.0. Enzo trying to hold strong here with these 4 walls of cover, giving that false sense of security in this case. All right. And somehow, Enzo not being focused on here. Banga keeping the pressure on, but this is going to exemplify the importance of utilities, ladies and gentlemen. When, say, you didn't have this compound cover, when that can become few and far between, this is a map that can be very dependent upon the zone to determine safety here. And if compound cover isn't afforded to you, that's when it comes down to knowing the hills and geography. And if that's not afforded to you, sometimes utilities are all that separates you from life and death. And Enzo firing away, UMP, but outnumbered, outmanned, outgunned, and boom goes the dynamite, ladies and gentlemen. And no time to waste. Yet again, we got the likes of Divine being surrounded on numerous sides. Just beneath them is members of Road to Death. And off to their southeast, they have to worry about the criminals. The criminales. Tell you what, we'll get a perspective on their opponents in overnight. Oh, pardon me. I guess that's going to be Road to Death. I just said that. Nope, it's both of them. It's both of them. Nice. All right, well, let's have a look-see on the screen here. Elsewhere, we've got members of Overnight in a bit of a Russian standoff here with numerous teams, one of which being Road to Death and the other being Team Moonlight. Now, this leaves me a little bit discouraged, and the only reason I say that is when you have a standoff like this, where this much distance stands between you and your opponent, it can be a battle of patience. And that might not be the most entertaining content to watch, but it does serve its purpose. But for me, I'm here out in search of the action. So let's check in on Mezexis 2.0. They're working their way into zone from the eastern quadrants, and they aren't going to be out of the thick of it just yet, but they are going to leave members of One Shot to stay behind, and this is going to be bad news for a particular member of One Shot, Mr. Peep. Why? Because he has got fairly close proximity to numerous members of Team Aces, and if they see him, like they do now, they have that overwatch and high ground, firing down on the vehicle, reducing it from a vehicle, now it's a ticking time bomb, and just a few bullets separate it from lighting up the sky with an explosion here. But goodness, driving out of the frying pan, potentially into the fire, because he did see that vehicle parked outside the house. Now, with us observers having the 20/20 vision here, we know that there's no one immediately there, but he doesn't. So he should be exercising extreme caution. Well, we got Team Aces going off in the distance, and you know what? We're going to check in. Look at this. Tasty utilizing this tiny shack, trying to keep cover. Peep trying to work his way into zone. All the while, Speed's being focused on. Get eyes once again on Tasty here. Oh, here's an opportunity in the making. And is he going to do it? Fires away. Wow! Talk about quick reaction time. Tasty. That was a tasty shot. All right. Well. I'm going to rename that right now. Tasty. Get that one for the clips. But he's got more nades where that came from. Trying to make it rain a little bit of hellfire. And he does take out PX-18 with that nade. This is his time to shine right here. Advancing, he gets a secured thirst on PX, and now that's going to leave Sadra as the last remaining opponent for Team Aces that he needs to worry about. Oh, Mezexis rushing, eliminating Speens out of the equation. And look, Tasty, a little spray and pray, taking it through the smoke, hoping against hope that he can get the takedown, and utilizing what geographical cover he can here. But it's all for naught because the lucky shot from Mezexis 2.0 through the smoke. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to take us down to 10 people spread, or 31 people spread across 10 teams here. And the closest threat is going to be between Criminalis and members of Divine. We'll get eyes on both perspectives here. All right, revives being got all around here. But you know what? We're going to go right on back to this because it looks to me like we have more trouble in the form of -7. And here we see a Draco coming in, making the utilities rain, but Gianna with a nade of her own. This is all but taken out by Criminalis, Blizz, and a third party from Heck. Draco taken down in retaliation here. This is going to leave... Oh, just as I say draw, it's going to leave Lil Baby as the final hope now for the -7. Lil Baby securing some thirst of his or her own, but you can hear those bullets being fired from Ruthless as he or she works his way around the compound. This is going to get dangerous. Even with the pre-fire, Lil Baby was not able to secure it. And that is going to be it for them. Well, we're down to just a few teams left. 23 people remain here. And we got eyes on some regulars in the Dead Month tournament, the Lycans. And look at Xeno firing away 4x import in hand and dishing out some hefty damage there. Taking a few bullets towards his way, but none actually hitting the mark on him. And he gets another one takedown on Roy. And this is all that his teammates need with to advance upon this and secure those elims. And here comes Morg in this dangerous monstrosity of a vehicle, turning the enemies into bowling pins and running them right on over. Well, he could be the focal point of some trouble here. Tell you what, we'll get both sides of the fight on perspective. All right, so we see Leon of J Nepal aiming backwards, not catching any line of sight just yet. Utilizing a vehicle for cover. That's a dangerous move, especially considering that vehicle could be his only lifeline to staying alive and getting away from the opposition. All right. Well, here we have it, ladies and gentlemen, that final showdown here. Down to 20 members remaining on the playing field. Spread across 7 teams, though. All right, here comes Jay Nepal. And this could spell real trouble for the Lycans, who are outnumbered 2-3, but Zeno firing away dishes out a hefty amount of damage to both Lucifer and Leon, but ultimately taking a lot more damage in retaliation. Here comes Moon to even the odds, and now we got ourselves a 3v3, and this could actually spell real trouble for Jay Nepal, who are stuck in between a rock and a hard place, all too literally. The rock being the Lycans, the hard place being rode to death, and this is going to make Jay Nepal the deli meat in this peanut butter and trouble sandwich. All right. Hey, Ronak, Ahmed, if you don't stop with that, buddy, I'm going to have to have my moderators time you out. And I really don't want to do that. But here's the thing. You know, the event is great to have the UC giveaways. But the event is also, the UC giveaways are here to have you support the event. Not for me to accommodate you getting the UC specifically. I hope you can understand. I don't mean any disrespect. All right, here we go. Things are starting to look real grim for the final criminal, Mr. KZZ. But look at this. All the while, Jay Nepal in this standoff with a 4-piece of the Lycans. The Lycans probably the last full team remaining on the playing field. Yeah. And it's going to be all-out bloodbath warfare from this stage on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it. Lycan Sun is taken down. And here's the advance from Jay Nepal. Oh, the nade just crashing into him. Leon out of the equation, leaving it up to Yoaraji and Lucifer. Yoaraji with that AK-47. 7.62 bullets aren't going to be enough to save you now, which is leaving it reliant on Lucifer. And boy, oh boy, Zeno, like a knight in shining armor, utilizing that high ground advantage, crashes into him with it. And that's going to bring us down to our final 4 teams, ladies and gentlemen, spread across 9 people, pardon me. What are numbers? All right. The final criminal, Mr. KZZ, having at it with multiple members of Mizexis and just ripped apart there and then by Rushy. Boy, Mizexis is in such full form right now, and you cannot argue with it because, boy, oh boy, these guys have 18 kills to their name so far. They have already taken out almost 25% of the entire playing field. And with an active, as I'm guessing, their IGL, it is not a surprise. Mizexis is a team that needs no introduction, an organization that needs no introduction. Phenomenal group of people, phenomenal organization. Really, really respecting the heck out of Mizexis. Not just on the U.S. side, but I believe they're a Spanish organization. Ooh, and that is that, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. I can't believe it. But I can believe Mizexis taking the dub. But what is hard to wrap my head around is 22 kills. In that brief moment where I was essentially bragging on how many kills Mezexis had, they acquired 4 more on the table in that 30-second period. Absolute domination of the playing field. Phenomenal performance on their end. 22 kills and a gold medal first place finish. They got chicken fresh on the tip of their tongue as they take the win for round 1. But let's not discredit the Lycans, a very, very well-rehearsed team as well, very synergized. They're going to be taking second place with 7 kills, and 5 of those 7 go to Zeno alone. Really impressive. Road to Death securing third, that bronze medal. But remember what I said, guys. We are doing standard PMPL scoring structure here, the updated revised one, where eliminations carry a lot more weight, meaning that placement, while it is still going to be helpful, is not going to be enough to take you on to the finals, very likely. So those 0 kills, that big old onion, is going to be pretty detrimental. But let's not discredit the Criminales taking 4th place, but with only 1 kill to speak of. It's going to be tough. We got Jay Nepal putting up a pretty impressive performance. 5th place with 7 kills between 3 of their players. Coming in 6th, it's going to be Moonlight with 5 kills. 7th is going to belong to the boys in Team Aces with 5 as well. Don't worry. I'll just put up... I keep doing that for some reason. But 8th place going to the likes of Q9 or DEU. Well, Deuce's family. But unfortunately, Deuce's family did not seem to read the rules where you have to have at least 3 identical tags to be scored. So while they did get 8th place with 1 kill, they really got last place with no kills. Give it up to Divine in 9th place with 3. Coming in 10th is going to be -7 with 3. Coming in 11th is going to be One Shot with 7 kills between 3 of their players. 12th place is going to belong to the boys and girls in Overnight with 1 kill from 44. We got Team Brave securing 13th with 1 kill from Banga. C4 in 14th, but with 5 kills. We got members of... Goodness, Daddy? Yeah, Team Daddy, also another team with only 2 identical tags. So 15th place with 4 kills, but no scoring for them. We got members of Exclusive grabbing 16th, but with 0 kills to speak of. And going with that trend, we got Tiny Fan Club in 18th with the big old onion. Ventru in 19th with 0. And lastly, 20th is going to belong to Ultimate Gaming with 1 kill from Cobra. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that was just round 1 of 3, but we still have 2 more rounds ahead of us, 2 more rounds of action, mayhem, and strategy to get into. Now, we've seen our participants on the first map ever introduced, Erangel, but that's the map that they're supposed to be most familiar with, the one that they've practiced the most synergized, most rehearsed on, most comfortable with. But what's going to happen when we take things to that dry, arid, open desert? I am, of course, speaking about Miramar as we return for round 2 of 3 of my very own RedEyes $450 Dead in June tournament qualifiers for Group A, brought to you and sponsored by Hunter of Gunmen, Glacier Gaming, Crafton, and Lightspeed Studios in just a few short moments. Stick around. We'll be back soon. Alrighty, all you cutie patooties, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to my very own RedEyes $450 Dead in June tournament qualifiers for Group A, and this is gonna be round 2. And just so you know, one of my staff members currently working on live scoring was able to get all this done and provided to me super fast. Huge shout out to Tiny, thank you so much. So currently, we can see the standings here with Mizexis holding a huge lead. 6 points over doubling second place here. But that's how it currently is. That's only one match, though, ladies and gentlemen. We still have 2 more to get into. And speaking of which, we're about to go ahead and kick things off as we get into round 2, Miramar. Now, what do we need to say about a map like Miramar? All right, so essentially it's the largest map that we have in the game. But technically, Erangel is also an 8x8. That does include Erangel's bodies of water, though. So realistically, this is the largest map that we have, meaning that the odds of 2 teams landing next to each other are going to be a bit slimmer. But it's also the most open map that we have in the game, meaning the odds of you being sniped from 300 meters away exponentially higher than any other map. So you need to be aware of not just your immediate, but your distant surroundings as well. And the third and final thing I want to say is that this map is so large that it finds itself very dependent upon the flight path to determine what sort of early game we end up getting. We're not like to see any Campo Militar finishes or jumps, pardon me. Not like to see many Campo Militar jumps out in that region, out yonder ways. I think I just lost. Did I just lose my highlighter? I did. All right. There we go. Got it back. So, yeah, we're not like likely to see... Mother. There we go. We're not like to see a lot of Campo Militar. Probably no Valle del Mar. But we are going to leave majority of these drop spots still pretty open. And that is thanks to a almost perfectly centralized flight path. So the participants are pretty lucky, all things considered. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, and anyone is welcome to register for future dates of this event at RedEyesOfficial.com. Now, we already got Mizexis wasting no time. The winners and, I'm just going to say it, dominators of round 1 already securing a kill in just a few seconds into match 2. In this case, they are up against the boys and girls in Well Played. Now, Well Played had a bit of a rough match to begin with, and I think it actually might have been due to members of Mizexis. So if that is the case, talk about history repeating itself as Thirst is eliminated right then and there. So that's going to put a real situation here for Shaza, who's already lost half of his team. Their starting lineup has been reduced down to just Shaza and Smiley, and Shaza is very low in terms of resources, with only an Uzi UMP 45, double SMG for weaponry, but nothing in terms of armor. This could be it for him. All right. What else is happening? We've got a couple fights elsewhere on the board. We also have members of Daddy up against the likes of Moonlight in the northwestern portion of the map. I will tune to that if need be. Well, we're gonna... I think Shaz's moments are just few and far between here. He does not have a lot of time left, but he goes in and does secure a takedown, almost getting another takedown, but actually ganged up on, and he was just outnumbered, outmanned, and outgunned. But it was a valiant effort, no less. However, Mizexis does take a bit of a hit there. They lost their IGL, I believe, Mr. Inactive, and Rushy was taken down in the process as well. All the while, off in the distance, in the northwest portion of the zone, we've got Daddies up against members of Moonlight. Now, keep in mind, I believe that both of these teams, oh, no, pardon me, just Daddies, was not able to get a single point in round 1, and that was due to not having 3 identical tags. So if they want any potential shot at advancing on to the finals, they are going to have to put up some heavy numbers. And speaking of advancing to the finals, well, we got a brief moment. We're going to go over the format. We got 20 teams competing in these qualifiers, and of those 20 teams, 4 teams will advance on to the $450 finals. We run 3 rounds of qualifiers, so that's 12 qualified teams plus the 8 invited Tier 1 professional teams where they're all going to duke it out for that $450 prize pool. All right. Well, I'm not going to stick around here any longer. We're going to go catch eyes on what's happening in the northwest portion of the zone. And while we're doing that, on the other map, I will go check out what's happening with Jay Nepal and members of Ultimate Gaming. First fight we see. Oh, we're going to that in just a moment. Yep. We're actually going to tune in to Brave, who might even be coming in. Yep, they're coming in for a third party, but it does not pan out as they were hoping. Enzo taken down as well, and that's going to leave it all down to Dunce. Dunce is the final hope now for Team Brave, and boy, if there was ever a time to throw bravery out the window, it would be now. You want to get at least some placement points for your team. At the very least, I'm not all too rehearsed on how Brave did in round 1, but I doubt that it was so good that they have extra slack in the rope to be eliminated this early on. So this seems like a very risky move to me. And yeah, this is not looking good for Dunce. And down he goes. All right. Well, what else is happening on the playing field? Couple things, actually. We've had a pretty consistent action the whole way through. But right now, C4 acquiring some high ground up against the opposition in Overnight. Now, the thing that could play out well for Overnight, however, and I'll just go ahead and bring attention to it right here, is this the spread that they're enabling here. Now, they got members of C4 surrounded on 4 different sides here. Now, if C4 was just a little bit more northbound, that could be the end of them, due to what I call a tactic that I've coined the bow method. But we'll get into that in a bit. No time to waste. We actually got shots here. We heard them. All right. I believe Daddy Payne taking quite a hit here, but his team is able to reunite, and they're going to just regroup and rotate, and understandably so. But you know what? We still have action going on out in the distance between members of Moonlight. Oh, we have a love triangle forming. It's Moonlight, it's Daddy's, and it's one shot. Oh boy, Yumi holding position. And even the Tommy gun won't save you. Yumi and Dusku are out of their trouble trying to reunite with this team. We got Bubble and... The Bubble definitely burst the opponent's bubble right there and then with a beautiful finish, and he doesn't have a lot of health to speak of remaining, and still going out to pursue what remains of Moonlight and fires away. Well, bravery is not in short supply for him. Well, trouble showing its face. And, ooh, Peep able to take out a member of -7 in the distance. We got Bruja up against Tiny. Bruja up against Trouble, pardon me. And just like that, Peep taking out another member of -7. Look at the jump shots from Trouble, and the dirty deed is done. All right, let's go catch eyes on the -7 if they are still around. Yeah, they still are. They have one member up and remaining. That's Asuka. Now, Asuka desperately trying to escape the clutches or reunite to save his fallen teammates. But, oh! Shot right out of the vehicle, cut in his tracks. Going to exemplify the risk of using those vehicles in that open ground. Having your car engine heard that early in open territory, oof, it's risky. Psycho with a beautiful takedown via the UMP-45 on a member of Overnight. Qin is taken down. A lot of people say that UMP is just close quarter combat, but I would argue that it also has a place in the lower end of mid-range. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is about to be that time again here. Let's see. We got Slay getting a high ground and a finishing on Rise, at least a knock. Rise too far away from his teammates to have a lot of assistance there, but retaliation is served onto Daddy Payne, leaving it down to Psycho, Ghoul, and Slay. Psycho approaching the confrontation with an S12 in hand and immediately trying to secure a revive while Ghoul comes in, yep, in pursuit of the enemy 444. And here we go. 4-4 with a beautiful takedown on Slay. Ghoul retaliates beautifully as well. All right. Well, ladies and gents, it's that time again. So, without too much further ado here, it's time for another 600 UC code giveaway. Who's ready for it? You have to redeem it by clicking the link at the top of the YouTube feed, and it's only going to go for one person. So here we go. The code is CKEQZLBZQEJ. Redeem that at the link at the top of the chat feed for your chance at that 600 UC. So, where should we tune into now? Not a lot happening elsewhere on the board at the moment. Not that I can see, at least. So, I think our next confrontation, I believe it's going to be C4 getting an overwatch on either the likes of Criminalis, potentially on the members of Mizexis, or more likely the threat behind him in Ventru. But I stand corrected after all. The takedown actually is going to be at the hands of Criminalis. All right. Well, Criminalis still holding position. They have 2 kills to their name, but they're still a full 4-piece. And guys, we cannot place enough emphasis on being a full 4-piece in-game. All right. Well, I think that's enough time to enter those codes. And we still have another 600 UC code to give away on our final match, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let's check things out here. Way up north on the Lycans, trying to work their way in from the eastern outskirts of Zone. And their first immediate threat is going to be in the shape of exclusive esports, most likely. I think on the alt camera, we'll go catch eyes on C4 just to see how that Overwatch is serving them. Not a lot happening there. We can see Daddy Payne just securing the vehicle. So we'll tune out of that and check in on the map one more time here. Get a little zoomed in. See, this is just beautiful positioning here by C4. You know, when you saw that zone come in, it was a contestation for who can claim that high ground the fastest. And C4 did so pretty darn well. But they aren't alone on that high ground. On the other end of that mountainscape is members of Mizexis, and that could prove a threat if C4 lets their guard down. But I think what we're going to do now is go tune outside of the zone to where Korea 1 is trying to escape the clutches of One Shot in A and reunite with his teammate. That actually might not be One Shot. That's Tiny Fan Club. I apologize. And speaking of One Shot, though, we do have a member of One Shot, the final hope for the team, Mr. Peep, who is responsible for all 4 of the team's kills, and he is up in a standoff here against a member of Road to Death. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just now tuning in, this is round 2 of 3 of my very own RedEyes $450 Dead in June tournament qualifiers for Group A, brought to you and sponsored by Hunter of Gunmen, Glacier Gaming, crafted in Lightspeed Studios. Well, Ventru does get a takedown in the distance. Let's catch eyes. Yep, it's Tiny Fan Club and Ventru having at it. Infirm giving a pretty hot pursuit here to Tiny Fan Club, but as he's there alone, I don't see that panning out too well for him. Okay. All right, so anything else happening on the playing field at the moment? I don't think so, not yet. It's a bit of a battle of patience at the moment, which is to be expected on large maps. And large maps are the 2 out of the 3 that we're working with. So, you know, it's okay to have those moments of downtime. But you know what I always say, ladies and gentlemen, is that a more passive early game always directly translates to a more action-packed and climactic mid or end game. So it's going to be worth the trade if you ask me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind, anybody can register for these events. There is now a new direct forwarding link to my website and my Discord server. It's RedEyesOfficial.com. Easy to remember. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so I think, you know, realistically, Trouble is kind of doing what he needs to here. Laying low, not drawing attention to himself, and hoping that those numbers dwindle down so he can at least secure some decent placement, because Tiny has a lot of room to make up for after an 18th place first round finish. Well, Lycan's having at it. I believe Sun and Moon shooting outwards, but towards who? Okay, they have a knock on a member of Exclusive Esports, and it looks like Xeno has toxicity on the mind. He might even try to secure a thirst at the risk of his own health. So, I'm looking on 2 different maps. We don't really have a lot of action elsewhere, but just to be on the safe side, I am going to get a look over on Ventru, just in case anything happens in their standoff with members of Lycans. Oh, and it looks to be Divine going in. So we're going to go switch over to that oh, as I say that, Xeno about to catch eyes. Yeah, Xeno is focused on by numerous members of Exclusive Esports and shot down to about 1/3 of his overall health. He's so lucky to have that tiny shack there to give him a little bit of time to heal up. But boy, just barely escaping the clutches of that utility nade, just driving inches away, only milliseconds before Hellfire exploded on him. But Divine still having at it in the distance. We're going to go catch a brief glance at members of Divine Team 16. All right, Divine at this point is down to its final hope, Mr. Ruthless, but also off in the distance we have Aces up against members of J Nepal. All right, well, Ruthless just holding position, but the inevitable threat has arrived in the shape and form of the Criminalis. And well, Ruthless might just be a little bit of a criminal himself, taking him right on out. But oh, revenge served cold and fast as Blizz eliminates him from the equation with the BBS double-barrel shotgun. Speaking of eliminations, Morg sending his opponent right to the morgue as well. That's Dare going down. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we got 3 rounds today total, so we still have 1 more to go after this. We're doing things on standard PMPL scoring structure, don't forget. So why do I keep repeating that? Because placement is holding a lot less emphasis than it did previously. Now, that's not to say it doesn't definitely serve a purpose. Placement is important. Well, you guys want to know how to get banned from my event? I'll tell you how to get banned from a RedEyes event. Name yourself that. All right, well, unfortunately for members of Exclusive Esports, they're done for the night. or they're not going to be scored for the night. Let's catch eyes. There seems to be a couple other potential threats elsewhere. Yeah, we got C4, which at this point is reduced down to, pardon me. C4 is eliminated as soon as I try to switch over to him. So C4 out of the equation, leaving the closest threat here between Zexus 2 and J Nepal. We got KK trying to heal up there. All the while, Killjoy putting a hurting onto Lucifer. And that's going to leave Leon and KK at the final hopes here. And firing away, Leon's location is, at this point, no secret at all. And with Killjoy utilizing such a great Overwatch high ground, it could spell trouble down below. Yeah, Killjoy would actually be able to get a line of sight if he just peeked the cliff. Oh, boy. Well, that clock is ticking, ladies and gentlemen. Time is of the essence. And Leon has got to shift his priorities to placement in this new zone. Venture trying to work their way in as well. Look at this. Trouble is very much waiting. And look at this. Watch. Boom! KK had no way of expecting that. Understandably so. But no time to waste. Ladies and gentlemen, Ventru having at it in the distance as well. They have a nice overwatch over the Lycans, but they seem to be forgetting the more immediate threat, which is the final criminale, Mr. Blizz. Well, regardless, shots are being fired left and right. We got Tiny, Mr. Treble, one final hope for the Tiny fan club. Oh, pardon me, Tiny and... yeah, Tiny's the last hope here for them nearby members of One Shot, and I believe that actually might be the final hope for One Shot. If that is the case, which it is, there's a potential 1v1 fair fight opportunity here. However, with the Lycans in hot pursuit of the final member of Road to Death, Mr. YouTube, it looks like there's going to be some distractions left open on the playing field. Morg taken down, leaving Moon to have to weigh his options. Looks like Sun's going to try to secure that revive. So, Moon actually going to use this opportunity to fire in on the outskirts of zone at Ventru as they try to acquire some better positioning. Moon dealt out a significant amount of damage onto Tonka, but not enough to take that truck out. However, Blizz coming in, guns a-blazing, driving like a bat out of hell, coming in with the DBS, and it's going to be Catino taking him out from the high ground. Outnumbered, outmanned, outgunned, and we're down to 8 people spread across 5 teams. Ladies and gentlemen, we have approached the end game of round 2. Oh man, talk about this spread. All right. Well, Tiny just holding position. Let's get eyes on the Lycans from a ground view. We see Morg utilizing this opportunity to drive on out into open field. As to why, I couldn't tell you, but basically the sacrificial lamb for no purpose. But Sun firing away gets a little revenge onto Tonka for that thirst. But can he make lightning strike twice and take NFRM out of the equation as well? Well, NFRM is in a really rough position here, but he does have 2 first aids. As long as he can survive long enough before utility drops, he might be okay, and he does. Oh, Trouble caught the rough end of that as Infirm takes him out, but boy, oh boy, in doing so, giving up his location like a clear beacon, and he is shot down to about a little less than half health here. All the while, Sun having an enemy to deal with of his own, that enemy being the blue zone. And if you guys have watched my event, you know that all my zones are boosted damage, boosted zone closing speeds. Nobody has a higher KD than that blue zone. And we got ourselves a 2v1. Can Sun pull this off? All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, the deed is done. I see someone in chat asking about the point system. So, yeah, if you haven't noticed it, we're doing standard PMPL scoring structure for these. All right. Well, we've got to give it up. Ventru really shining through on this one, taking that first place gold medal finish with 8 kills between 3 of their players. Huge improvement there. But you know what is consistent? Another silver medal second place finish for the Lycans. Now, sure, it's not super kill intensive, but 3 kills, it's nothing to wag your finger at, but that second place finish. Those placement points, while being less emphasized than in the previous scoring structure, still hold a lot of weight. And 2 second place finishes back to back could really, really bring the Lycans' odds right up to the top. So, Road to Death in 3rd place, but unfortunately, it's almost like no one's reading the rules because it's been in place for 2 years, but you have to have 3 identical tags to be scored. Not even 2 identical tags here for these guys. So, Road to Death, while a 3rd place finish with 1 kill. Last place, no kills, unfortunately. Well, we got members of One Shot in 4th place, really putting a heavy backpack onto their solo, Mr. Peep, who was able to put up all 4 of the team's kills. The Tiny Fan Club securing 5th, but with 7 kills between Bubble and Trouble. Mizexis 2.0, a little bit tougher of a round this time, but let's keep it all in perspective. They still got 6th place with 11 kills. Count them up. Those kills are going to do huge, huge numbers for them. And what placement can't do, those eliminations can. So a 1st place, extremely high kill game in round 1. I believe 22 kills. And then a 6th place, 11 kills in round 2. I mean, don't get me wrong. They are looking very strong right now. But that's still probably not quite enough to solidify their advancement. They're going to need to do at least decent placement in our 3rd and final round to guarantee that advancement. So, 7th place is going to belong to the Criminales, and that's going to be with 6 kills. Not bad. All right. 8th place going to Jay Paul. That's going to be with 7. C4 taking 9th, and that's going to be with, 7 as well. We got exclusive esports in 10th. Now, while they had all their tags and they had 2 kills, coming in to an official sponsored event with a name like that is absolutely not allowed. And if you were to take that out of the equation, I would still say not allowed. Not a funny joke, and basically just screwed your team over. All right. Team Aces securing 11th, but with 0 kills to speak of. We got Divine in 12th with 3. Members of Deuces, still no 3 tags identical. So while they got 13th with a kill, it's another last place no kill game for them. Overnight in 14th with 1 kill from QN, -7 in 15th with 3. And then we got CQC, the Moonlight team, in 16th with 2. Coming in 17th is going to be Daddy, but also with no identical tags. They have 2 Daddy tags, but not 3. So still no points for them. Let's see. We've got 18th going to Team Brave with 1 kill from Banga. Road to Death Guri will not be counted. Ultimate Gaming in 20th with 2. And last place is going to go to Well Played with 1 kill from Smiley. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that is 2 matches of action, mayhem, and strategy out the way. But that still leaves 1 more match ahead of us, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we've seen our participants on the very first map ever of Erangel, then the wide open deserts of Miramar. But now it's time to conclude the qualifier tonight in that lush condensed forest. I am, of course, speaking about Sandhawk. our smallest map of the night, as we return for our third and final round of my very own RedEyes $450 Dead in June qualifiers for Group A, brought to you and sponsored by Hunter of Gunmen, Glacier Gaming, Crafton, and Lightspeed Studios in just a few short moments. Stick around, we'll be back soon.
Penny B.
Alrighty, all you cutie patooties, welcome back to our third and final round of the night of my very own RedEyes $450 Dead in June tournament qualifiers for Group A, brought to you and sponsored by Hunter of Gunmen, Glacier Gaming, Crafton, and Lightspeed Studios. And we are concluding the qualifier today with, you guessed it, that lush condensed forest of Sandhawk. Now, what do we need to say about a map like Sandhawk? Well, essentially, it's our smallest map that we're going to be working with. Technically, Livik and Karakin, and now the newer map, Noosa, all smaller than this, but we don't mess with those in comp very much. This is going to be the smallest map that we've got, meaning that the odds of two teams landing next to each other is just automatically going to be a bit higher. but it's also the most condensed map that we have in the game, meaning that you could have enemies all around, even within a close proximity. You need to be alert of your very immediate surroundings. Natural cover is everywhere, and snakes are lurking. And the third and final thing I want to say is that this map is so small that it finds itself pretty independent of the flight path. It's just ironic that they are met with a perfectly central path. Sorry. Okay. All right. Getting eyes. We've got several altercations on the board already here at boot camp. Goodness gracious. It's mayhem here. We've got Ultimate Gaming facing off against Road to Death, as well as members of Moonlight and Brave. And that doesn't even account for Daddy over here. Oh boy. CQC hanging on to life by the hair on his chin, and boom, that is undone right there and then. That's going to leave us reliant upon Crod, Yankee, and Fresh. Crod holding position with an AK-47 in hand. Here he comes, trying to provide a little bit of defense here while his teammates revive, and he does so nicely, barely taking much damage at all there. Couldn't have gone too much more ideally for him, and boom, finishing Banga off as well. That is 2 kills on the board for him and for his team. Just noticed that UC thing covers up the kill count. All right, well, out of the frying pan into the fire, so to speak. They are not out of the smoke yet. However, they are able to get back to a full 4-piece, which is probably the most imperative part. But here comes Jat in hot pursuit. Where is he? Oh, okay. Fresh is right upstairs. Boy, the clock is ticking for him. But literally swimming in a pool of Road to Death members here. Oh my gosh. And here is the full squad showing up. It's a 4v4 in the making. Well, you know what, guys? If they're going to wait for too much longer, I will not stick around. But last chance. Give them a couple more seconds to see if they're going to make their moves happen. Well, YouTube holding position, Uzi in hand. He does at least have the extended mag on it. 35 round clip, but that clip spreads pretty quickly and empties before you know it. So you better be precise with those shots. Morg, way off, but still being given attention for some reason. That's not really who you need to be worrying about, I feel like. But we're going to go check in on Ventru elsewhere, and I will go back to this on the alt cam. So, as you can see, Daddy Arse just holding position. Not really a lot happening for him yet. But CQC smoke is taken down from the rooftop of Booty right there and then. Nades coming outwards from Tonka, not doing quite enough damage on his opponents and aces. Actually, very little damage, maybe about a third of one player's health. Rin take a little bit of damage. And even with that high ground, Tonka is eliminated, outnumbered, outmanned, and outgunned. But no time to waste. We got action left and right on the field here. These 3 teams literally overlapping and piling onto one another. We see Crod firing away 3x QBZ aimed down at the Road to Death boys, but not a single bullet hitting the mark. Well, this could be a long wait, so we're not going to stick around. We're going to go check in on members of One Shot and see what they're getting into. It looks like one of them just got a takedown. Rel's just trying to reunite with his team. Well, whatever was happening, it doesn't seem to be as an immediate of a threat as I thought. Mizexis up against a member of the Lycans. Yep, Moon a bit lower down. Sorry, guys. It's still a mobile game after all. Takes a little while to render in. All right, Killjoy has Moon's number, but the nade just slightly overcooked. He's trying to go full on Martha Stewart, but if you want it to be a good thing, you gotta cook it right. And Killjoy not gonna give any easy opportunities to the low ground holder like in Moon. He is waiting for opportunity to present itself. And this could be a battle of patience here. Well, looks like the standoff between Moonlit and Road to Death continues to loom on with not a single kill or elimination added since we last tuned out. So, while we got it, guys, I may as well go over this, you know. We got one more UC code to give away, and I think we should do that towards the end. So, just to make sure we keep viewers, I'm going to set my alarm. Got 49, so I'll set it for 10 minutes. So, yeah, we'll go over the format one last time. 20 teams compete in the qualifiers. Of those 20 teams, 4 teams advance onto the $450 finals. Now, we run 3 rounds of qualifiers, so that's 12 qualified teams plus the 8 invited Tier 1 Pro teams, where they're all going to be duking it out at the finals for that $450 prize pool. All right. Well, looks like someone else is coming up to the party. It's going to be the daddies encircling these 2 teams and says, you know what? If you guys aren't going to make any moves happen, I will. Here comes Jimmy, DBS Tommy gun in hand. He is out there with blood on the mind, searching for the smoke. And he just caught wind. They were not expecting a DBS headshot from outside the window, and Jimmy in full form, hanging on by a hair on his chin. So lucky to be alive there. All right. Well, that's going to leave Road to Death down to Guri and Player X. Guri knocked, desperately seeking the revive right now. All the while, we got Lycans operating as a 2-piece at this point in the distance, and they are in a 2v4 at Painan. And Player X is down. Guri is the final hope. And boy, oh boy, did Jimmy close that option real quick. That door got slammed in his face. So, where is the next bit of action going to come from? I still think, realistically, I still think that we should have our eyes set right around here between members of Daddies and their opponents in Well Played. Now, neither of these teams have had a very fortunate night, so to speak. So, both of them going to be out pretty desperate for eliminations, I would think. If you're just now tuning in, this is our final round of the night. Yep, action is on the board here. We'll get both sides of the perspective here. Now, Well Played is only entering this match as a 3-piece, so they're coming in at an immediate disadvantage. Oh, the Lycans off in the distance. Tell you what, we'll catch eyes on that for now. We got Zeno and Sun. Zeno taken down in retaliation after securing that knock. Quickly getting a dish of revenge right to him as well. But here comes the inevitable push from Mezex. It's another takedown, but Sun able to utilize Zeno's brief moments of being back up. That little sliver of health was all he needed to distract Mezex so he could come around with that DBS. Nicely done. All right, well, we got more action on the board as the -7 crew faces off against members of Deuces. This is the Deuces family, and they are entering in this final match with a full team with 3 identical tags. This match will be scored for them. And let's give them credit where credit is due, you know. Even when they found out that, you know, they might not be scored, they still finished the event, and I respect that. All right. Malbo just ganged up on here like a bad habit and quickly eliminated from the equation. But we're not out of the thick of it yet. We still have this standoff here. Daddies versus Well Played, and Shazza is down, leaving it down to Thirst and Ronnie. Now keep in mind, Well Played only has 2 tags. So even if they do phenomenal here, it will not result in any counted points. All right. Well, we'll get it on both perspectives here. Oh. It's Arsh and Jimmy up against our boy Thirst right here. We see Arsh trying to get the revive, meaning Jimmy is going to be in charge of overwatch and cover fire. All right, shots have been fired. We hear the shotguns in the works. And boy, does Jimmy ever seal the deal. Nicely done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are down to 29 people spread across 9 teams. Now, there's a decent spread, ironically, for like the first time tonight. And of all the maps to have it on, it's on the smallest map that we're working with. So, yeah, irony is palpable here. But we might have some action in between Deuces, the Deuces family, and Team Ace, or I guess Team Divine, pardon me. Divine, 0 kills to their name and lost a member early on. About to lose a second member if Shush does not heal up here. He was trying to dish out some easy claps, but actually caught a lot more damage than he was able to give. Elsewhere, the Lycans trying to work their way around the south bend of zone. Xeno and Sun just trying to work their way in. Poor Sun has a bad view. Whoa! All right, Dave Mira, I see you. That's clipped. I'm titling that. What? I mean, I know that wasn't even on purpose, but that was awesome. Renaming that right now. That was awesome. All right, well, we do have a potential fight here on the board. It's going to be in between members of C4 and their opponents in Tiny Fan Club. So we'll get on both sides of this altercation here. We got Daddy Payne cooking up one. All the while, his opponent, Bubble, running around the way with a DBS in hand, cooking up a retaliatory nade of his own. Oh, and it lands right on Daddy Payne. And that's going to leave Psycho as the last hope here for C4. With that being said, we don't need to have both perspectives on. Psycho is going to need to be a little bit crazy here to pull this off. And honestly, if I were him, I probably wouldn't be firing, even with the line of sight. There's a small chance that they might not know he's there. Oh, yeah. They know he's there. They got it, right? Oh, man. Time is of the essence, but ladies and gentlemen, we've got one hell of a next zone. A bridge ending zone. Let's go. Oh! All right. Well, we're going to check in on members of J Nepal in a potential standoff or altercation. We're going to see up against the Lycans. And, oh, yep, that's Yoajari taken down right in front of our eyes and quickly thirsted to follow. All right. We hear shots in the distance. Yep, Lycan's having a rough go of it. Now it's down to Xeno and Xeno alone. Well, I reckon it's about that time again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the final UC code of the night. Let's get it. So, the final code is CKEQ ZLCZSHR. Wow, that was tough for me to even read out. Go ahead and redeem at the link pinned to the very top of the chat feed for your chance at getting that 600 UC. Only one person can redeem it, though. Best of luck. CKEQZLCZSHR. And it looks like we have some action off in the distance. Somehow the Lycans were both able to get revived here. Elsewhere in the distance, it's going to be a tough go for the likes of Divine. Now reduced down to 4K and 4K alone. Lycans actually stuck in between a rock and a hard place as well. And we're hearing those shots. I think we'll go check in on the bridge holders here. They were already able to get that early positioning, and that is why the Criminales have a good shot at thriving here. Thank you guys so much for being here. Time flies when with your fam and having a blast. Love you, wow. All right. Oop, that's one shot Peep going in the distance again. One shot Peep has been really keeping the team name going here. That's a takedown on Trouble, leaving it up to Bubble and Dusku for the Tiny Fan Club. And I don't know. This is going to be a tough one to pull off, outnumbered here, but it could be only a 1v2. Oh, it's actually a 2v2. Bubble somehow escapes the clutches of that nade. Dusku up in the action here, waiting with that DBS in hand, throwing out a preliminary utility, trying to hold his opponent off with anything possible. Oh, the Criminale is having a tough go of it. That ZZZ holding position here while Blizz tries to secure the knock on their fallen teammate. What's his name? All right, well, the Team Deuces. The Deuces family in full form right now. 7 kills to their name. And a full 4-piece come in-game. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are reaching the in-game. 12 people spread across 4 teams. And now Roy firing up the hill. This is a bit of a interesting decision to me. And the reason I say that is because even if Roy secures these knocks, I don't see him likely being able to secure a thirst from his positioning. So is it worth it? Well, let's see. You got an easy kill right there. Oh, boy. And that is it for the Tiny Fan Club. Just like that, Deuces just rocking the table here. 13 kills, still a 4-piece. 2 members down, but look at that, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Well, you got to give the Deuces family credit where credit is due. Not letting any DQs throw them off. You know, the fact that they might not be scored in their first 2 matches, that didn't stop them from coming in and finishing strong and participating for all 3 matches. And because of that, they aren't going to be banned from next month. They're in fact, I'll probably give them, if it came down to a last-minute decision, I'd probably give them a little bit of priority over another team, just because I know for sure that they stick it through and see it out. We entered this round 3 here about 1 minute before start time. There was still about almost 20 people missing from the lobby, so that was really concerning. So huge shout out to Team Aces, or Team Deuces family for being able to kind of keep their head in the game, not lose track, and stay respectful of the event and participate the entire time. Not only that, but they're going to take home that gold medal first place finish with 14 kills. Now, if they had participated with 3 identical tags this entire night, who knows what could have happened. But as it didn't happen, The Criminales, they're going to be taking the silver medal. Ain't nothing wrong with second, and they'll be taking that with 8 kills. Half of those kills go to Blizz. It's a strong ending. The Tiny Fan Club, they didn't fare so well in round 1 either, but they're going to be finishing strong also with 8 kills to their name. Team Divine is going to be grabbing 4th with 1 kill from 4K. We got One Shot securing 5th with 2, 1 from Peep and 1 from Rels. The Lycans, boy. Uh-oh. Yep, I just messed that up. Lycans in 6th place with 5 kills. So that means 2 second place finishes and a 6th place finish with 5 kills. Lycans are in very, very high probability of advancement towards the finals. We got Jane Paul grabbing 7th with 1 kill from Leon. 8th place is going to belong to the Daddies, but unfortunately the Daddies did not join with 3 tags or watch the event to hear me saying gotta have 3 tags. But that's okay, because by coming and participating in all the matches, they made sure that they're not banned from Dead in July. So it's really a shame to see here, though, because the Daddies, while they did get 8th place, they had 10 kills between Brar and Jimmy and 11 kills total. It's a shame that those won't count. C4 grabbing 9th place with 3 kills. We got the well-played crew, unfortunately with only 2 tags here, but 10th place, 2 kills. Last place, no kills. -7 in 11th with 1 kill from Asuka. Mizexis 2.0, little bit of a rougher go this time around. 12th place with 1 kill from Killjoy. We got Road to Death securing 13th with 3 kills. All 3 came from Jat alone. We got the Moonlit crew in 14th with 2 kills, both of which came from Crod. Team Aces in 15th with 4. We got Ventru in 16th with 2. Exclusive in 17th, but with a big fat onion for kills. Brave Esports in 18th with 2 kills from Dunce. Overnight securing 19th with 1 kill from What's His Name. And lastly, 20th is going to go to the 3-piece of Ultimate Gaming, but with 0 kills. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, anyway you're going to look at it, that's got to be game over. But what a blast today was. We had some seriously intense action, especially in the Erangel and Miramar matches. And hold on to the edge of your seats, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll tell you why. Let's see. Let me pull it up right meow. But this was just the Group A qualifiers, ladies and gentlemen. We still have 2 more rounds of qualifiers before we kick things off with the $450 finals on the 28th. So, as it stands, we're coming back at you with Group B's qualifiers and 3 more 600 UC codes in just 3 days. Wednesday, June 21st at 8 o'clock p.m. EST right here on the YouTube. And so if you're not subscribed already, please do. Anybody is welcome to register for these events. All you have to do is join my Discord server and be above the age of 18 to get paid out. But my Discord server now has a fast, easy, accessible link, RedEyesOfficial.com. We'll forward you right to the RedEyes Den. So I hope that makes it a little easier for everyone. But I don't want to waste anybody's time. I'm just going to go ahead and wrap things up here and get ready for a personal stream. If you guys like watching a potato do potato things, you're more than welcome to come check that out or join in. But until we come back for the Group B qualifiers on the 21st, I hope you all have a great night. Have fun, be safe, and be kind to one another. GG's.